Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, if you're a business owner and you one day want to sell your company for maximum value, you want to watch this next episode. We'll be talking to the great Michael D. Rubin, author of this best-selling book. Next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, we are about to experience the largest transfer of wealth in the history of the planet. You've got all these baby boomers with businesses, and they're going to be selling them in the next few years because often their kids don't want their business. Or if the kid does want the business, you want to transfer that in the appropriate way to the child. To talk about that today, one of my favorite clients, Michael D. Rubin. He's making another appearance on the show. You were here, what, 8 weeks ago? 10 weeks ago? Something like that?
2.5, 3 months ago, yeah. The beginning of the year.
Well, you've impressed me so much. I needed to have you back. So welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Well, thanks for having me.
Awesome. And so I made that statement that so many baby boomers are really kind of aging out. They're at this point where if they're not thinking about selling their business, they should.
Yeah, the statistics are astonishing. 77 million baby boomers who are here in the United States. 40% of all small businesses are owned by those baby boomers, and that equates to $10 trillion of wealth transfer. It's going to happen over the next 15, 20 years. And so firms like ours at MDR Associates and a bunch of other good firms here in town are positioned to help and assist those baby boomers in maximizing the sale of their business, which a lot of times is 60, 70, 80, 90% of their net worth.
Yes. And
huge transfer.
You were telling me before we started the show that many times people are shocked at how much their company's actually worth.
Well, the truth is most baby boomers, and we meet with this last week off our radio show, we met with 5 business owners, and most of them didn't know they could sell. Wow. They didn't know there was any worth. And one of them was worth over $12 million, so they just didn't know it was worth anything. So we generally like to meet with business owners, do a discovery meeting, sit down, hear their story, their value proposition, what their goals are. If their goals are something we can't achieve, we won't engage. But if we think we can meet their goals and objectives, we give a free complimentary opinion of value. I generally will give a copy of my book.
Yes.
And they get to make an educated decision because you don't know. I say on the radio show all the time, my sign-off is, you don't know if you want to sell until you know how much you're worth.
Let's put a copy of the book on the screen so you can talk about it. How many chapters in the book?
Easy to read, 14 chapters, a little over 100 pages. I've had 4 of my clients read it in 4 or 5 hours in one day on a vacation. I've had new clients read it, come back, and in music to my ears, they'll say things like, I've really learned the process. I know what questions to ask you, and I'm ready to sign up with you. And so it's really a client leave behind education on what the process is. And what they can expect when we go to market.
And there's testimonials from 2 cowboy legends, Ed Too Tall Jones and Randy White, who you have the privilege of working with.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, I met Too Tall 30 years ago on the cruise ship. My wife and I got married on the Norway at Norwegian Cruise Lines, Port of Miami, and at night I would play blackjack with Too Tall, and we reconnected at Chamberlain Steakhouse December. And he said, I want to be a part of what you're doing. Can I bring my best friend? I said, who's your best friend? He said, Randy. I said, Randy who? He said, Randy White. I said, of course I'd love to meet with Randy White. So they came in, we had discussions in November, December, signed in December. We have lots of pictures and stuff about that, but they're basically our ambassadors and partners.
Wow.
And they speak highly of our firm, and I speak very highly of them. It's the last time we won a championship here in Dallas.
That's right. And your clients get to meet these guys.
Yeah, we just had an event a week ago at the Cowboys Club. I'm a member there, and Too Tall and Randy signed footballs. We had a raffle, gave away 2 footballs. Someone off the radio that was visiting with us, considering becoming a client, got a football.
Yes.
I kind of had to look up and go, this is awesome. And they became a client last week, so
Wow.
it was just fantastic.
Let's pull up your website, and as we scroll down the website,
Yeah, we just redesigned it.
I want to brag about you because you're one of those guys. I can text you in the morning, at night, weekends. You're always on your phone. You're very responsive, and I like a hands-on owner. Talk about how you differ from other people in your space.
Wow, there's probably three big ones. Number one, on the radio, I like to talk about our heart. We won't do a deal that hurts our clients, period. If it doesn't bless our seller and our buyer, and really a win for the kingdom. So we say it needs to be a win-win-win for us to get involved. If it is, we get involved. I think our Christian values, we like to walk them, not talk them. That's number one. Number two, I get clients that say, how did you respond to me in 30 seconds? It's just what you just said. It's like responsiveness in this time and day and time is very rare. You're the same way.
Yes.
You're the same way with your PR firm. I text you, and I'm a client now.
Thank you.
Blessed to be a client. And we had no marketing going on before I met you. Zero. Now we have 8 podcasts that describe the book entirely, all 14 chapters, 2 chapters a week. We just completed our 7th radio show. I was a guest on WBAP as a result of you. And now the big boss invited me down, offered me the number 1 spot at 12 to 1 p.m. on Sundays.
Wow.
And my CFO and I are having a blast providing information to business owners on what's the process, how long does it take, what questions do you need to ask when you're interviewing an M&A firm.
Let's pull up there you go, the WBAP logo.
7 weeks now we just were.
And you and I were talking before the show. Man, that has a reach all over Texas, right?
It's been startling. I mean, we've had 20 or so inquiries off the radio show. I'll get done with pickleball with Christy on Sunday at Lifetime Fitness. I'll go to my car, and as I listen to the show, my phone is lighting up with business owners asking, can we meet with you? Can I get a copy of the book? That all started with you.
Well, you're being too kind. One thing that really impresses me about you is that you actually give your cell phone out on the air, which people like that.
It's interesting. The first week I gave our 855 MDR Associates number.
Yeah.
No one called. So I prayed about it, and I thought, okay, maybe I need to give my private and confidential cell phone out, my actual phone. And it's been astonishing. It's been great because you know who founders want to talk to? Other founders, confidentially.
Yes.
It's a big sale. It's a once-in-a-lifetime sale. So they don't want to chance the fact that some associate answers the phone or they're calling an 800 number. God knows in today's day and age where that goes. So I give my number, 469-995-6060, and the business owners are welcome to text me. Any questions, any ideas, if they'd like to meet, maybe they'd like a complimentary copy of the book. So if anyone's listening to this podcast, if you'd like a complimentary copy of the book, text me at 469-995-6060. Be glad to sign a copy and get it to you. And no obligation, just...
I love that about you, Michael. You're a giver, and you're also a strong Christian, and I love that about your faith. You're going to set up this clip. If you go to Michael's website, you can find all kinds of testimonial videos. Why don't you set the stage for this clip we're about to hear?
Well, I met Joe Peterson September, October of last year. We did a lot of SEO work before this. We did zero marketing except SEO and referral networking meetings. And Joe Peterson has been building his landscaping company, Peterson's Landscaping, for 40 years here in Dallas, ever since I was, 10 or 12 years old at Lake Islands. And he called me up and simply said, look, I've been referred to you. The person that referred me to you said I need to use you. I'd like to meet with you. We met. We had our discovery meeting. We went over all these goals and objectives. I gave him a confidential opinion of value from low to high, call it the strike zone. He liked it. We signed an engagement letter, and within 30 days, we had 6 buyers making offers. And we signed an offer, I think it was late November, supposed to close January. It took a month longer. A lot of times it does with SBA financing, and we lead our buyers in with that. We're kind of a one-stop shop. And we closed the deal with Joe late February. And he's a humble guy. He's never let go of one worker in 40 years, not one.
Wow.
If they needed a loan, he'd do it at almost no interest. A lot of his employees are Hispanic, and he just bridged that. He was kind of he really pastored that flock of employees really, really well over 40 years. So when Joe said to me, because I always leave the $1 million question for the end of the interview, at the end of the discovery meeting, which was, Joe, why are you selling? He said, I want to give my time, my treasure, my talents to my pastor and my church at no cost.
Wow.
And when he told me that, I was like, this is my kind of client. This is exactly who I want to serve. So yeah, I was sold out in the process, and the Lord closed it expeditiously. I think we closed, like I said, end of February. We had our celebration dinner at Bob's Chop House. I met his wife and a gentleman by the name of Matthew Ravello, who I had on our podcast here.
Nice.
He owns a commercial cleaning company for municipalities, and those municipalities were asking for landscaping.
Wow.
So he was one of the 50 or 60 inquiries, and he just kind of stole it at the end, made the highest offer. And I talked to Joe the other day. He's doing ministry full time, and he's extremely happy.
Wow. Okay, that's a great way to set up this clip. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Being a business owner, you like to be around people who, when they're given a task, they get right on it. And they did that. They got right on it. They didn't back off until they found somebody that would fit the mold that we were looking for. Presentation is 90% of the battle. Anytime you're selling anything or working with a product that you want to promote, presentation is king. I looked at the other companies and stuff. The presentation wasn't quite where MDR was. And so you start thinking about, okay, these guys understand that there is a purpose behind presentation, and because they had that and Christian outfit, that was important. And so those things were the things that pushed me over the edge. I just believe that sometimes God just moves you along, and everything has a season. Our season for owning a business is over. I told Michael from the very beginning that my focus was to find somebody that would take care of our people. If I can sleep at night knowing that somebody cares about them, I'm good. And that was most important in any of the decisions that I made. Matt and Lorena are great people. He's been a great person to work with, and I appreciate him for all he does and everything that he's doing.
Wow, beautifully filmed, Michael. You do such a great job over there.
Thank you.
Just from beginning to end, and the whole client experience is seamless. I also want to brag about your podcast. Let's show a little video of Michael's shows on our network. And what episode are you on right now? Do you remember?
Yeah, we're done with the book. So we're episode 8. The first episode was introducing the Championship Deal Team, all of the people that support me at MDR Associates, and then 7 episodes, 2 chapters a week.
Yeah.
So we just finished the book, and the next 4 will be about SBA financing. A panel of private equity is going to come see us. Really some topics I think business owners will want to see.
Yeah. I want you to brag about your team, because every great CEO is only as good as their team.
It came together really probably 2-3 years ago. Hired our CFO, Jenny Swain. She's our co-host on the radio show, and she does all the marketing packages, goes and gets in people's QuickBooks, finds those one-time ad backs to get to the maximum EBITDA. She's amazing, a blessing, and become a dear friend of Christy and I. Patrick and Jenny and I went, and Christy and I went out to dinner last week. It was fantastic. And then Tom Luciato, we just showed a video of his work. He worked at Fox Television for 20 years. Nice. And so similarly, and he has a ton of experience. And he's our VP of video production that does all the marketing videos, which is really a cutting edge thing. Right. We're only one of 3 or 5 companies in the country that every time we take an engagement, we'll showcase that company with a video, a drone video, video of the principal on camera talking about strengths, weaknesses, growth strategies. It's fantastic. And you get an image, and then that does a couple things. It speeds the process up for business owners. Mm-hmm. It doesn't interrupt their business 10, 20 times, like showings.
Yes.
And they get to keep their eye on the business. And so I think we're getting a lot of compliments how we package deals.
Yes.
It's important.
Another thing that I want to talk about with Michael is he's just a caring person. So when you think about the baby boomer who might be thinking about selling his or her business, that's really personal. I mean, they may have been growing this company for 40 years.
I talked on the podcast a lot about our $20 million transaction with Hughes Tank last year, but I call her Miss Vicky. Miss Vicky started that 39 years ago, and truly, she did not know where she started and the business ended. Talk about personal. It was enmeshed. Hughes Tank was her, and she was Hughes Tank. And it took me the 13 months to counsel her out of her identity being all of Hughes Tank.
Right.
and she's happier than ever now. She was very sad when it closed. I think when I called her a week after it closed, she said, I felt like I lost my first baby in the womb. I cried for 6 hours on Saturday.
Wow.
2 weeks later, I told her their sunshine would be coming out. She's so happy and relieved that she's no longer, all that weight's not on her anymore. There's a lot of weight.
Yes.
These baby boomers are my heroes. Think about it. They make the whole economy go.
Yes.
Vicky and all the baby boomers and the business owners I talk to, I'm passionate about defending them at that vulnerable point when they're 58, 65, 72.
Right.
And our success fee is secondary. It's a job well done. If we do excellent work, then we'll get the success fee at the end. But most of our fee is it's 100% pay for performance.
Well, and I love it that you have the heart of a teacher as well. So if you want to listen to any of Michael's television shows or radio shows, if you go to the WBAP app.
Yeah, you can download the WBAP app. I mean, I've got it on my phone. That we will maybe put it up on the screen. WBAP app. Once you download that on your phone, you can just one-click service. You can stream WBAP at any time. We're on Sunday. When they first mentioned the spot to me, I simply said to them, I don't know about oceanfront. When I go on vacation, I'm ocean view. Can we do Wednesday at 3? And they're like, look, after church, 12 to 1, you need an hour format. They convinced me, and so it's been a blessing because we've had 7 people into the firm. We've had 20 different inquiries. And we're only in the 7th week. We're going to go 26 weeks. So we're going to go end of March all the way to when football starts.
Yes.
And then we take 6 months off, and we come back March to August maybe next year if they'll have us back.
Outstanding. Okay, so if somebody is watching this right now and they say, I like Michael, I like what he stands for, I want to reach out to him, what's the process like? Do you have a Zoom or a face-to-face? Or how do
I would say, contact me directly on my cell phone, founder to founder at 469-995-6060. 469-995-6060 is my personal phone. I'd love to just connect with you, find out what your personal goals and objectives are, and see if we can meet them. We won't do a deal that doesn't bless our seller. We just won't do it. The other thing is, if you wanted to look at all of the work that you guys have done for us, you guys have been a huge blessing.
Thank you.
I mean, huge blessing. This firm is just amazing. We had 0 marketing going on, so we're at 0 miles an hour, and now I feel like we're at 120 miles an hour with our hair on fire. I've been on Fox Radio 12 to 15 times. Wow. And I expect maybe I'd be on Fox 4 coming up soon on TV.
Absolutely.
That would be amazing. Not to put pressure on you.
Michael,
you're my PR guy.
This show is not about me. This is about you. Okay, any final thoughts? What would you like to leave people with?
If you're a business owner and you don't know what your business is worth, you've been thinking about selling, you're approaching retirement age, feel free to look us up on YouTube. All of our podcasts that you guys have done are on YouTube. All 8 of them. You can go to Spotify, Apple, YouTube, put in Sell Your Company for Maximum Value. Love to get you a copy of the book that I wrote. It's everything we learned in the last 15 years, and just be an honor and a privilege to meet you.
Outstanding. We're going to end with that website, which again is sellmycompanynow.com. The great Michael D. Rubin. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.